Like I say, I have the best people in the whole universe. Like I said, I have 12 types of life forms. The LSF colony ship, which my people built for me. I have, American Airlines. Um, I wrote the Declaration of Independence and all that other stuff in America. I'm Lucifer Star, though my ship name is Brian Bradley. So anyway, my people, well, they say the gypsies shrunk me or whatever. I used to say the gypsies shrunk me. And it might have been the Gypsy Empire that actually did what they did to me, basically. I mean, it wasn't anything bad. I mean, they just made me young again or new again or something like that. So I can't complain. I can't say, oh, how dare you make me young again, because they helped me live. They pushed me along. So otherwise I would have died sooner. So anyway, though. So anyway, and that's basically, I mean, but anyway, I've the Gypsies were one of the groups. Like I said, I used to pay them to go and do performing arts and performing puppet shows in in the towns and stuff, and probably even promote what's it called. They used to do puppet shows and do dances, and they would do they would turn a main street of a city into basically a festival for me, and we'd pay them out of the tax money or whatever else like that, because they would entertain the city for a day or something like that. Wearing beautiful dresses and dancing and getting people to dance and drink and stuff like that. And I would pay them out of my money, which would be, well, basically Lucifer White Star Lines, but you could say, anyway. So they were a group of entertainers that used to entertain. They put on puppet shows, and they would dress really nicely, and they would dance in the streets and sell wine and liquor and alcohol and stuff like that, and maybe pickpocket a few people. I don't really know. They used to say that they would pickpocket, that they're thieves, but they're not thieves. No, 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 no. The gypsies were never thieves. They would put on shows, and they owned a town somewhere, and and they were a great traveling group. They would just travel out from their town with their people, and they would dance and stuff like that. And they put on these festival shows. They would travel by train or by carriage or whatever, and a group of beautiful women or whatever else like that, and just basically entertainers. And so they would travel spreading happiness and dance and music, and they also have music. They had a little band or something like that, um, and they were just performers and wonderful, wonderful people. I think maybe from the Middle East. I'm not exactly sure, but I would pay them out of my money, out of the tax money or whatever, and or out of the White Star Line money. Like I said, I'm Lucifer White Star Line, so epic ships and stuff like that. And so they would also advertise for me sometimes, advertise the different goods that Lucifer White Star Lines provided. Maybe I don't really know. Like I'd say, you'll have to ask the gypsies. They're about 10,000 years old or older. They're a really really old group, and magnificent, beautiful women belly dancing. I think maybe. Um, anyway, though, maybe they're related to the tinsmiths or whatever, but they would travel around the countries and through the lands, and they would dance and have music and yeah, wonderful, wonderful people. Like I say, when when people first started asking me about these people, about these groups, it's like, oh well, yeah, this group used to do this for me, and that group used to do that for me, and and everybody's like, no, 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 you're crazy. I was like, what are you talking about? We had films, there's pictures, there is books, you know, and stuff like that, talking about the traveling gypsies and stuff like that, and and some said they may have been, some of them may have been criminals, or I don't really know. I don't know. I would never consider a gypsy a criminal. No, no, no. They put on puppet shows. They might have gotten in trouble for something, and maybe I asked them to do community service. Put on puppet shows or whatever. But I paid them for it, and they would, you know. So a lot of people wanted money, and a lot of people wanted to be able to do things for me. So basically, maybe they were caught stealing something or doing something bad. I don't really know, but it's like, well, just community service. Go out and spread happiness and joy, and I'll pay you. So, and they were paid out of the Lucifer White Star Line money. Titanic and my shipping things and stuff like that. I mean, So I had plenty of money. So and I'm sure they made a lot of money. They used to sell alcohol and I think also teach people to dance, maybe charge for dances or something like that. You know. Anyway, though, all these groups, they used to wander around and they used to do things for me and for the creator or for the Lucifer White Star line company. And that's me. So yeah, eventually, like I say, I'd be locked in a titanic battle between me versus Nixon. So, I mean, I had a few enemies. Papa, we kicked him out of Warsaw, or the Irish kicked him out of Warsaw on my behalf, and I had a few enemies. I mean, Papa was black, and he was trying to turn the black race into a plague upon this world, and all this and that, and I mean, and I was just like, whatever, so I don't really know. I mean, I employed black people too. I mean, of course, I was equal opportunity black people, but in Belfast, the black people were getting on board ships and like ramming my White Star Line ships, trying to damage them and stuff like that. But it's like we just fix them, we repair them. We had a dry dock, so just put it in the dry dock and. I mean, we repaired my ships, we repaired other people's ships. It was a dry dock that functioned for hundreds of years. Whenever a ship got damaged or needed to have its barnacles scraped off, or whatever, I built it for my ships. But I figured, well, we'll just charge a fee for everyone else. I'll make my money back. So that's why I own Belfast, because my dry dock, my shipyard. Hundreds of years my Belfast LS shipyard was in operation. Fixing ships and patching them up, repairing them, building them. My good Irish workers, my Irish workers, and there were Germans and Chinese there. We were a very massive group, and like I say, I also have exoskeletons and 1.5s and other life forms that would eventually gather around too. Like they're out there in the universe. I just told them to get away from Earth for a little bit because there's a lot of confusion going on Earth, and I wanted to make these videos to tell you people who I was, because you had forgotten or whatever. And so, anyway, though, but yeah, and there was like, Rodney, I'll be your voice and mouth. It's just like, I'm Lucifer White Star. I can speak for myself, and like I said, I know the gypsies. I remember them thousands of years ago. You guys were doing stuff for me. I mean, I love you. Somebody was trying to execute them or imprison them or call them criminals or something. It's like, no. They might have done something bad once, but I mean, they made amends. They traveled around the cities. They danced. They sung. They did puppet shows, little puppet shows, and they might have been doing it with the Germans. The Germans were expert toy makers, the best toy makers ever. They made the most sophisticated little toys you could ever imagine, little boxes, puzzle boxes, stuff like that. Many people wondered how exactly Lucifer Starline had all this stuff, and it's like, well, I had gypsies and Germans, and I had all these wonderful people that were inventors, and they were saved. They lived inside my orphanages or my buildings, and they lived in my towns, and they did things for me. They would work for me, or they would, we all shared alike, and I was Lucifer White Star, creator, builder, inventor. And I invented steam power and also turbines and the wing, the aircraft. And I love you, gypsies. You guys are wonderful. And there was the Great Ten Empire after Rome fell. Rome was kind of like and they were we were having problems where the Senate or the Council of Rome was going up against me or something like that. And I was like, no, like this, and or something like that. I don't really know what happened with Rome. Basically, Rome fell, and then I made a new system somewhere else, and my new system was better than my old system. So I kept on adjusting basically your civilization until I had it just about right, and kept on encouraging people to invent and research science, all that stuff, schooling, more schools, higher education, stuff like that. And it was all going along fine until Dr. Richard Nixon, PhD in both psychology, parapsychology, and meteorological physics. Yeah, he just. Anyway, so, and then he kept on going to court and bugging and annoying and all this and that kind of stuff. And he was just some lying, pathetic idiot that stole a Maltese Falcon or something like that. I don't know. I said, I don't know, stealing of the Maltese Falcon, a highly radioactive um, bird made of uranium or thorium or something like that. And, anyway, though. So, yeah. I mean, there's me, Lucifer White Star, and there's like my gypsies, my Irish, my Germans. There's my Russians, my bold and fearless Russians, and and then there's my Alaskans and like my Native American Indians, and even my cowboys, and um, and all my scientists, my German scientists, even Indian scientists. I mean, anyway, so like I have all these people gathered around me, and they're all my people. So, and then there's also exoskeletons 1.5s, and there's all these groups, and they were doing things for me. My Irish people went to Mexico, and then there's the Mexican people, and Puna Violina, or whatever, or whatever, I forget her name. Sorry, my bad, I forget your name. Anyway, this wonderful, well, I mean, she was an escort, basically. So, but yeah, I don't want to offend anyone, but I mean, it's like, well, she was a woman of the night, you know. I mean, and but she was a wonderful woman that loved men fiercely. So, and she had like 3 or 4 men. But I mean, it's like, yeah, whatever. She talked to me, and she was sanctified. But I mean, and she eventually was married to a man, with me sitting in on it, getting married to the true Creator, Lord. At least Lucifer Star, anyway. So, anyway, yeah, and she was a wonderful Mexican woman that brought some things to my attention that were happening in Mexico. And so, anyway, and I declared Mexico independent of other countries, so she could, do my laws or do something, and all that other stuff. And technically, Spain had to be evacuated anyway because there was war over there. So anyway, so everybody just kind of gathered around me, and I helped them move across on my ships, my White Star Line ships, with my good captains and everything else like that. We protected people, we fed people, we saved people, we taught people new things, and built roads, so and cars. Like I said, and I had horses in stable, the Lone Star stables, and all that other stuff. And other people had stables too, but there's me, Lucifer Star, and that's what White Star Lines is. Lucifer White Star Lines. So LSF colony ship, epic creator, builder. So anyway, a lot of people are like blah 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 blah, and it's like, well, but my people, my gypsies, like I said, wonderful puppet shows, absolutely amazing in acting, and the salesmen, they knew how. I didn't really know how to sell things, so and they knew how to sell things, so they took over one of my towns and made it better. And like I could cry because they're wonderful, wonderful people. I think they spoke a couple languages and stuff like that. They traveled around the planet. So anyway, yeah, there's this for White Star Lions, and there's other things.